So I'm also recording this in case someone is not able to make it. I'm also recording this in case. All right, that's the recording. Okay, so we're going to begin. Archabad.org, first of all, /LAS, which stands for Land and Spirits. And this is this has a lot of the information that you're going to know. So why I did not give out a handout, because most information that will be discussed, you'll be able to refer back to here. And soon I'll share my screen in a minute. 1 second. Okay. Now let's begin with. Okay, we'll start with the video. No, not that one. Up into the video. And I will share this. 1 second, let me share this. Those are on Zoom. Share. Okay. Okay. Is there sound?
Oscar, you need to come on jail lecture to experience this. I guarantee you, it'll be a
Okay.
highlight. For you, there's something together. If you
2 days since I've been here about my religion and the history than I could have ever in school.
I was doing unbelievable to see the spirit of all people after all.
And going into the tunnels, the excavations of the Western Wall is just amazing.
The uniqueness of this trip and what Jay and I were getting towards goes well beyond a typical trip. To hire the politicians, to introduce the individuals. And I specifically love the fact that it's combined learning about the history of Israel, but also discovering a deeper understanding of what happened on and after October 7th. We came to give them strength, but yet what I got out of it was they gave me strength. Just to be here with the Jewish people during this time is a responsibility, it's a privilege.
Sense of hopefulness, not helplessness.
One of the highlights is me, absolutely, this me person, was being able to eat this whole thing. Journey, it's the journey. To me, it's the beginning journey, discovering myself and what EAG is all about. I'm more ready for you to come back. It's the most amazing thing that's ever happened to me. I never thought I'd feel this strong. Don't miss the opportunity. It's
Don't want to forget.
if you like. Next year, in Israel.
Okay, so that's our start. This is Alvin. Alvin, say hi to everyone. Everyone can see you.
Okay, hello everybody. I can't see them though. I see you.
That's okay. They see you. Don't worry.
Okay.
They're
Is it
saying.
it's a shorter trip than we had before, Rabbi?
So as I was explaining, they cut out half a day, which was the last day Monday. That was after the what do you call it? After the banquet. A lot of people weren't that interested in that extra half of Monday that was there. So they felt that it was unnecessary. I actually was not there even for that Monday. I left that night.
I know
I
you
left
left on the
the
train.
banquet. My son Mendy, um, had started putting on the film, so I wanted to go meet him in New York for that. But so that's basically what they cut out was that half a day.
Is
So
there is
now,
is there
yeah.
plane trips before that, or is that the dates we fly back and forth?
So the thing is, kind of getting a little ahead of ourselves here,
I'm
but
sorry. I'm
but
sorry.
uh, but there are a lot of flights. The way they have it in Israel, there's a lot of flights that leave like at midnight, 1 a.m., 11, 12, 1 a.m. So if you want, you have that option of leaving right after the banquet. If you want, you can stay over another night and leave the next day, or as some people are doing here, are staying even longer. Um, but that's just that's just an option for those that are looking for it, is to be able to leave right after we have that big banquet and celebration, and then you could literally catch a flight that night, which is that's basically what I did last time, because they found it to be a little bit unnecessary, that extra day. Um, so let us begin first. You know, obviously most people that are here are interested in the trip. And this is not, I don't really have to sell the trip to you. But just to go over a few points that I think are important. You know what? I could just share my screen with you. What you guys could watch this as I'm showing it. Um, Let me see. First of all, as you saw in the video over there, where they said that, we thought we're going to help them, and they actually gave that to us. And the truth is, as many of you know, I was just in Israel, and I can tell you that people, the appreciation that people have to know that there are others that are just coming and showing up, shopping in the stores, buying falafels at the falafel stands. Obviously going and, going down to the army bases, which we'll have a little bit of that as well. Going and visiting the Nova Festival. These are things which have not been done, and obviously in the 2023 trip, because it's the Israel today is in a completely different emotional state than it was at that time. And maybe it's difficult to go to these places, but when you go there, you're going to feel a very strong connection to Am Yisrael, to your people, to what Israel is about, to what the spirit of Israel is all about. And it's just so important. Um, aside for enjoying the trip for ourselves, to be able to have the opportunity to bring that type of experience both to ourselves and to those living in Israel. And it's important for them to know that we are one nation together, working together, living together, even though we're across the oceans. So that's just a just a thing that's additional to what we have today. Another aspect of it, we're gonna look at some points that are here. And again, I don't want to spend so much time selling the trip because you were already sold, but just some things that I think are noteworthy. Let me do a share here. How do I do the share so so you guys could watch it to see as well? Share, here we go. Share screen options. 1 second. So you guys can watch everything that I'm showing. And again, you can either go to landandspirit.org or you can go to our website directly, ourchabad.org. Chabad Ocala 26. Screen, okay, share the screen. It's the code is Chabad Ocala 26. So this is the website, ourchabad.org. I'll just go to the ourchabad.org /LAS, Land and Spirit, LAS, and this takes you over here. And I'll go through the register soon. Let's just look at a few more things. Our homeland, meet the soldiers, leaders, and innovators shaping modern Israel, encounter the Jewish people's millennia-long bond with the Holy Land from the Bible, Talmud, and Kabbalah, to the vigorous spirit, delicious cuisine, and colorful culture of modern Israel. Another point just about the cost. Yes, it is a costly trip, but if you take a look at the overall experience, what you're getting, it's actually very you're getting a very, very good deal. Better than you would be able to if you would go yourself to Israel, you would actually end up paying a lot more. When you factor in the cost of hotel stays, of transportation, of rides, of food, of speakers, the sites that you're visiting, everything costs money. And when you factor that all in, I mean, you just take a week at the David Citadel Hotel, and that's almost $2,000, probably even more right there, almost $3,000 just for the stay. Actually, it's probably even more than that. It's about $400 or $500 a night. So,
Rabbi, I think last year's trip in 2023 is actually the same.
yeah, and that was also another point in cutting out a part of the trip. Was also to be able to make it affordable. And again, that was, like I said before, that's a part of the trip that most people didn't care much for either anyway. David said, I'm gonna go to that in a minute. So a few more things. See, now we have a solidarity aspect of it, which is what I pointed out before. Okay, witness resilience, visit wounded IDF veterans rehabilitation centers, visit Mount Herzl, discover inspiring stories, volunteer with Leket Israel, reflect on Yad Vashem. These are all things that was not available in the previous trip for unfortunate reasons or whatever it is. As I said, Israel is different today. There's not a family in Israel that was not affected. And as I said, many of you already heard my stories. When we had someone come, that is a family friend that we know in Israel, and he took us to the south, and he had a best friend that was killed on the doorstep of a home in the Gaza border. And so it's really another aspect of it which we have to see. It's not just about what we are doing. Witness, meet the rugged residents of Sderot living in the shadow of Hamas fire. Again, this is another aspect. Toward the city of Ofakim, sites a vicious attack on October 7th, meet the former hostages and hostage families. Again, these are difficult things, but when you go there, you feel that this is part of who I am. This is part of Am Yisrael, and you actually feel in a very strange way, you feel good about it afterwards. You feel like you connected to part of you that's been missing for 2 years, and you're sort of connecting to that. There was actually in the Noah Festival in Simchas Torah, they do something called Hakafot Shniot. Hakafot Shniot is in Israel, they have only one day Yantif, right? So they do Hakafot. When we do Shmini Atzeres, doing Yizkor, whatever, they're doing Hakafot. So they have an additional Hakafot, which is after Yantif, which is the same night that we're doing Simchas Torah, but they do it with live music and everything because it's after Yantif. And so they had an incredible one by Nova Festival, thousands of people that joined. Then you have the classic aspect of it, which is the temple, Talmud, discover triumphs, challenges, impact Talmudic sages, their teachings, ancient Roman port of Caesarea with Rabbi Akiva, Southern Wall excavations, by the way. They have some new excavations that were not available in 2023 when we went. There are new excavations, there are brand new things, and I don't know if you saw in the news lately.
Yeah.
I didn't prepare everything to show visually, but recently there was a famous trip with the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio. He went to Israel, and they had a dedication of the new excavations that they just had, which is a road, which they found a road used from the time of the temple era. So it was really incredible stuff. I was there. It's, you're literally walking on the roads that the pilgrims going up to the temple walk these roads, and these are things that have just become available in the last year or so. So those who went in 2023 would not have been able to experience that then. You have, of course, Masada. That's a classic. We'll go over soon. Things if you could decide what you want to do or not. And then you have another thing, which is personalities who shaped Israel's character, which is another aspect of specifically the JLI trip. If you go yourself, you would not be able to meet certain people because of the connections with JLI and the magnitude of Chabad connections that they have there. You are able to hear from and meet people that become available in these trips. Like you saw in the video, you had the chief rabbi of Israel and some others. There's certain speakers that you got to hear that, again, if you go yourself, you would never be able to have that. Tour the Knesset here from Israel's political leaders, discover Talbia, home of the official residence of Israel's president, walk Independence Trail in Tel Aviv. I'm soon going to tell you the bad news with this, with all these things. Survival, I'll tell you now, the bad news is that you won't be able to do everything. And you're going to have to pick which things you want to do because there's only so much that you could do in that amount of time. But this is the good news, everything that's available. Ammunition Hill, right? So these are things, wars and miracles. You can see some history about Israel's wars, things that they went through. Then you have defending our home, Gaza over our Gaza border, and get the insider briefing on Israel's position. When we went in 2023 and we saw that in the kibbutz Elamim. I remember they kept saying, no pictures. No, what that is? That picture? That's an Iron Dome. It's an Iron Dome, right? But what an Iron Dome means it shoots back missiles that are able to knock out the rockets in the air. So we were in Kibbutz Elamim then, which was at the Gaza border. We were able to see Gaza. It was about 2 kilometers away, right? We could see Gaza from that kibbutz. They had one of these and they said, don't take pictures or whatever. Unfortunately, the attack of October 7th, these things didn't help because they were able to figure out how to get around it. But it happens to be that Kibbutz Elamim was mostly spared. There were some Thai workers that were killed there, but they're mostly spared. They are a religious kibbutz, as you remember. We had one of the best meals we had in Israel was on this kibbutz. Remember that? There was a fantastic meal that they prepared for us. Anyway, I think it was literally probably my best meal that I had in Israel. Anyway, Magen David Adom, security barrier. Well, again, you could go on the website and read a lot of this, but I'm going to go into detail soon. And then you have some of the nature of Israel, the Judean desert, the Carmel Mountains. You could see the place where Elijah the prophet went up to heaven in the Carmel Mountains. Of course, you have the Dead Sea. That's a classic there. Mediterranean. Caesaria's Aqueduct, another classic in Israel. These are some of the classic places that people like to visit. And then you have a biblical aspect. You have the city of David. We visited the city of David with my kids. It's unbelievable what you go through the water tunnels. You could see certain aspects of King David's palace, what remains of biblical Jerusalem, Main Street. Again, they're doing excavations there that again were not being done then. These are new excavations that they're continuously doing. Fog here, continuously, and you're seeing. It doesn't bother me. And they have things available from the time of King David, from the first temple era. Unbelievable things that they're discovering there. They have the Shiloh where the tabernacle once stood. This is actually something that I had not yet done that I really want to do, is to see a Shiloh where the tabernacle is. That's in it's in the West Bank, so it's hard to go to, and you can only go there if you have the right tour guides. Cave of Machpelah, of course, Rachel's tomb, Hebron, that was also an incredible highlight in the trip. We danced with the Torah. Remember, we danced with the Torah in Hebron. I'll show you a few pictures, but I don't have the time to do everything. Ascend Mount Carmel where the prophet Elijah contested. We talked about that. What else? And then you also have the culture, the cuisine. Sagot Winery. We have some of their wines here. I actually saw that they just put out a line of wines dedicated to October 7th with the names of hostages on there, whatever. Some of the natural things, cheeses, yogurts, and the farms there, fresh produce, bakery, most incredible bakeries they have in Israel. Olives, oil, honey, some stuff that's the nature there. And then there's another aspect, which is the technology. A lot of people like this. Israel obviously is very advanced in their technology. You could visit our crowd, learn about cutting edge innovations, tour the Weizmann Institute of Science, which is actually, I think it was hit during the Iran war. Part of it was destroyed. Latest aviation, military technologies, people that like those things. And then finally connect. Experience Shabbos at the Western Wall, Jerusalem's historic synagogues, the splendor and significance of the Second Holy Temple. And you dance along music of Hasidic musicians, enjoy inspiring lectures, prayers, sermons, and delightful Shabbat meals with leading scholars. So this is some of what we had. I'll just pull up some pictures from our trip last time.
What's the weather like in which?
That's a very good question. It's supposed to be one of the most mild times to go. Unfortunately, in our case, last time it was very rainy, which was actually very unusual. But no one could really predict the weather. So
The temperature roughly. The temperature.
It's usually around 60s, 70s, so it's usually very nice then. Usually around 70 degrees. What?
Take a winter coat.
Yeah, you're not gonna be a winter coat. Maybe you may need a sweater. At most you'll need a sweater.
We need more than stuff.
It's chilly.
I'm cold here.
It's supposedly I don't know, I can't pick this up here. Supposedly the nicest time to be in Israel. But you know, what can it, you know, I don't have time to spend looking for pictures, although I do want to send, maybe I'll post some on the chat, some pictures as we go on.
Was gonna ask you, is it itinerary for you?
Yes, I'm gonna go over the itinerary now. And then I'm gonna talk about flights. Okay. Few frequently asked questions. Is this child friendly? That's not relevant here, I don't think. When is the trip dates? Okay. Tour begins Monday morning, March 9th, and ends evening of Sunday, March 15th. The departure from US is Sunday, March 8th, and the return date is Monday, March 15th.
It's in the.
Hmm. Basically what they're recommending is take a late Monday, a late Sunday night flight. From no, Miami. I'm gonna go over flights. I'm gonna go over flights soon. Yes, one thing, we did talk about cutting out part of the trip, and that means that March 15th, which means Sunday night, is not included in the hotel fare. So that is an issue. Obviously, you could add that on. That was one of the things that they did to be able to cut down the cost of the trip. Double occupancy, 42.49, single occupancy, 56 $99, which again, I think is even a little bit less than they had last time. So if you do want to stay over more, obviously, then that is more. What does the trip include? Your fare includes guide, educational tours and sites, including entrance fees and all activities in the itinerary. Trip is uniquely designed with option days, providing built-in flexibility for tailored experience based on preferences you submit before your trip. I'm going to go over the options soon. Hotel accommodations include 7 nights in a luxury hotel. We'll see what those are. Transportation will come from the airport from March 9th and March 15th. You'd find out about it. It says the non-include ground reserve dates. Not traveling at least 9 other participants. Well, the way that it's going to be is they're basically going to match up people that are arriving the same time, because chances are that you're going to be flying with some people from other groups are going to be arriving at the same time. VIP service. You know, you'll be coming from the airport if you have at least 10 people. Most likely, as long as you come within the times of most of those Sunday flights, you'll be coming in, you know, at the same time of others, and then you're going to be transferred directly to your luggage, and everything's going to be transferred directly to your hotel. So this is what they mean VIP service. But the way it works is when you arrive Monday, the flights usually arrive anywhere between, you know, Monday early afternoon to, you know, depending on which flight you take. If you're taking a Sunday flight, some of them will arrive on Monday morning, some will arrive like early afternoon Monday. And again, I'll go over flights soon. But they'll pick you up from the airport. Again, you know, they'll find out when your flight is, who else is arriving at that time. They may be waiting for, you know, a few other groups that are arriving at the same time, different flights coming in. And then they're going to take your luggage to whatever airport you're staying, whatever hotel you're staying at. And then they're going to take you directly on a trip Monday. You may be a little jet lagged, but that's the first trip is Monday. I think I arrived separately than our group, so I ended up with a different group for the Monday trip, and then we met up Monday night. If you guys are flying together, obviously you'll be together. We went, I think, the first day to Caesarea, I think. We went to Aqueduct, yeah, and there was a great restaurant there that we ate at the first day Monday.
That's not.
Huh? Yeah, but I'm gonna go over the hotels in a minute. Anyway, then you have meals. There's always breakfast. Okay, breakfast is always in the hotel. And then some days have lunch and dinner. The reason why some days don't have dinner is because sometimes the different groups are traveling and arriving different times. And also this gives an opportunity if you want to, go out yourself to some of the restaurants that are there. We had a beautiful outing, remember in Tel Aviv, we had a great dinner together with our group. Um, and sometimes you just want to try some of the other restaurants and not just have, the food that's being served in the hotel. So that gives you that option. Um, it's not a stupid question. It's actually a very common. Uh, I'll give you the simple answer, but it's really not simple. Every restaurant that's kosher has a kosher certification. Okay, at very least, you want to make sure that they have a kosher certification. And they have a certificate on the wall. Now, obviously, just the certification is as good as whoever stands behind that certification. And that's where it becomes really complicated. But for a basic level of kosher, you want to make sure at least that it's recognized by the what's called the Rabbanut, which is the group of rabbis in Israel. And I'd say about 75% of the restaurants there are recognized by the Rabbanut. But you do want to make sure, especially some of them are owned by Arabs, like you don't necessarily know. What you just want to make sure, ask them, do you have a kosher certificate? They'll point to, there it is, it's on the wall, read it. A lot of times it's even translated in English. And, that's the basic minimum that you want to make sure.
What happened? It happened on the show. In traffic. What happened?
You can walk. You can walk on chance. I'll go, we'll do that in a minute. I'll go through the details soon.
Sunday and Monday. Days. Lunch.
A lot of it is gonna depend on the trip, so, I wouldn't get too technical on this, because once you see what the trip is, it'll all fall together. I believe yes, there is an option for 3 people. Yes, there is. And I think the price goes down. I'm gonna look, I'll show you that in a minute. Yes, this also they mentioned to give gratuities, which is for they suggest $100 to tip the guides, the drivers, the hostess, and the other coordinators. Of course, I should mention this. Rita knows this. One of the very, very gracious hostess that took care of us was a woman that many people later found out. Her name was none other than Rachel Poland Goldberg. She was, of course, the mother of Hirsch. She was very, very close with our group. She helped us out a lot. We became very, very friendly with her, especially she grew up in Chicago, and I also did, and I knew the rabbi that made her that got her connected with Judaism, and we made a real connection with her, and this became very personal. Alvin, you remember Rachel Goldberg?
Yeah, I remember at the desk here at
Yeah,
the Waldorf Astoria.
And then when we needed medication, and she helped get medication. So you make connections, and you never know. You never know who these people are. This is a notice of cancellation. If you notice, before November 1st, okay, which is not a lot of time. 10% cancellation between November 2nd and January 1st, 50% cancellation fee. And after that, there's no refund. The way to go about that is to buy travel insurance. Okay, travel insurance will cover the trip if it needs to be canceled. Huh? What, like who to get travel insurance from? Yeah, this is all available. You could go online. Yeah, go to archabad.org. I'm reading it straight from the website, archabad.org/LAS, Land and Spirit. Um, um, okay. Now, there's obviously some things that they added, which came about because of COVID and different things that the why trips were canceled. COVID, the war, and things like that. Okay. No. They don't care about that. But what you do need a visa. Okay. You do need a visa, but it's very easy to get.
And how do you get it? Didn't they give us
I'll
when we got it there, the board's still good?
no, passport's good. You get, well, first of all, your passport has to be at least 6 months in advance. So make sure that you have a passport. I should point these things out.
There's a bit of work for 10 years.
Yeah, 10 years. You would definitely take a look. It has to be at least 6 months and no, I want to show that. Hold on.
Oh, don't even I'll help you because I need to get off. I don't have a problem. Yeah. Did I?
Here. Israel visa.
What do you exchange?
You can do that.
Okay, you do that in Israel. Do not do it before.
Right. Usually the hotel.
And when you're in Israel,
Yeah.
so well, something to get in the hotel, you probably won't get a very good rate there, but you walk on the streets and you'll see there's money exchanges everywhere. They're very easy to find. At least in Jerusalem, and the bigger cities, you can find money exchanges.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all over. I wouldn't suggest doing it in the airport. You're not going to get a good rate. You're going to lose money. It's better to do it on the streets. So you have over here, and just basically what you do for money exchange, just Google dollar to shekel exchange rate, and you'll see what you should be getting. And then you ask them, what am I getting? It's always going to be a little bit less than what the exchange rate is, but you won't want you don't want it to be a lot less.
I'll tell you.
If they're giving it $1 less, then if it's a couple cents less, then you're getting a good deal.
Understand the Hudson takes
Yeah, I don't know.
to US dollars. If you don't want to use that cost.
They're not gonna take, most places won't, some places will, most places are not gonna take dollars.
Really?
Yeah, most people, it's not a currency in Israel. They want shekels. By the way,
You need
The-
a credit card.
the shekel right now happens to be very strong, and the dollar happens to be right now very weak. So it's only about three here. Let me see. Dollar shekel exchange rate today. 3.29 to a dollar. It means 3.29 shekels to a dollar. Okay. Take that 20 years ago, it was probably over 4.
When I lived in 1965, it was pounds.
Different pounds. Yeah, so it's not that it's not that weak, the shekel. It's a pretty valuable currency. Okay. This is I just searched Israel visa, you see? Israel visa. And you basically go here, just obviously you want to make sure it's an actual government Israel website .gov.il, right? You don't want to go into any scams. Israel entry, it's a long one, but just Google Visa Israel, right? Visa Israel, and I could send a link as well on the group. Israel Visa, okay?
Before we go.
Yeah, so yes, you have to do it before you go. It's a PIBA, PIBA.gov.il. That's what it is. I don't know what PIBA is.
We did.
It's very easy. It's called an ETAIL.
ET or PT?
ETAIL. Okay. ETAIL. Right here. ETAIL.
And you get on,
IL is Israel, ETA Israel. Electronic Travel Authorization, that's what it stands for. ETA, Electronic Travel. It's done online. You do go over here, you start your application. They ask you a few questions. A valid email address, your travel information, your personal information, a valid passport. You put in the information, 90% of the time, 5 minutes later, you'll have your visa.
just finish.
Not 90% of the time. If there's issues, then, then there's issues, but 90% of the time, it literally, it takes 5 minutes. And within facts. Obviously, but the earlier the better, you make sure that it's done. And once you do it, it's good for a year. So, yeah, so it's good for a year and then you could. PIBA, PIBA.gov.il.
ETA.
No, PIBA, PIBA. .gov.il. I could also send a link on the group. And we should probably do a WhatsApp group. It's probably better than text group if people have WhatsApp. Okay, I have to move quickly here because now let's I want to go over tickets a little bit, and then we're gonna go over itineraries. So this is a website. It's called Google. You ever heard of Google? Okay. This is Google. Now, I'll also give you a travel agent to work with if you like. It's called Google Flights. Okay. I'm gonna do round trip. You do need a return flight, but you could.
Stay forever. You know, we want to. We supposed to book a flight to the world tomorrow. You know, we're staying. We're really staying all morning.
Okay, so here I did Orlando and Tampa to Tel Aviv. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Tampa, there may be connections. Now, obviously, there's no direct flights from any of these. There is from Miami. I'll put in there Miami. If you want to see that as an option. Okay. So for nonstop options, there are no nonstop options.
Really?
So
Even Miami?
even Miami, apparently. Okay. I thought that there was one. There is. I don't know why it's telling me that it's not. Okay. You have a one nonstop option. I know why, because it's only one way. So this is 2 p.m. 2 p.m. on Sunday. And it lands at 7:40 a.m. in Bangor. This is $14.49 for the full round trip price. This is the round trip price,
What is this?
$14.49.
That's a round trip.
The problem is that there's no direct flight for the way back. So I don't know why, but this is just what it is. By the way, if anybody has miles or status with Delta is partners with El Al. And that means that number one, you can use Delta miles to book El Al flights. And also you can, if you have a status on Delta, they have like silver, gold, whatever, El Al will match that status for you. So if you get, like, let's say, free luggage on Delta, you'll get free luggage on El Al. Because the basic fare, I think, only is 50 pounds. But if you have a status on Delta, you get up to 70 pounds, something like that. So just a good thing to know. This is all if you're flying So, you know, there have a lot of different options here. This is JFK. This one is there Boston. Do they still have? This is a JFK, and then take the Delta flight. Oh, this is to Miami. I don't see that. That's the problem. Let's go back and remove Miami from there. I don't know. I don't know if they still have that Boston flight.
Did last year.
Yeah,
Boston,
it's they
it was easy.
a lot of flights are removed.
Maybe they'll be back. And how long is the wait?
Again, that all depends on which flight you book, right? It's really hard for me to to tell you for sure, but just to show you, and I do suggest that you work with a travel agent, but just to show you some of the options that are available. This is a little bit cheaper flight, Air Canada. They have a flight that basically you'll have to fly to Toronto, and then fly from there. That's an Air Canada flight. You have United flights that go. This particular flight is Lufthansa, so you would go to Frankfurt, Germany, and then from Germany to, in other words, you would fly Orlando to Frankfurt, and then from Frankfurt to, it's not LL, correct. There, if you only want LL, there's LL options. Remember, maybe a little more expensive. This is Etihad, if anybody's interested in stopping in Zayed in the UAE. That's those are, they also fly. There's a United flight. Okay, this is gonna stop over in Dulles. I didn't know Washington Dulles flies to Ben Gurion. Who knew? Okay, so you have a United flight from Washington Dulles to Ben Gurion Airport. That's news to me. I did not know that they fly there. I was sure it would be from Newark, because I know there's a Newark flight. If you want only LL, yeah, Shmuley's brother is a travel agent, and I'll give you as well someone that they suggest. Yeah,
Are these flights extra costs or is that included in the trip price?
the flight is not included in the trip price.
So it's in addition to it.
Yeah. So here,
Okay.
yes. This is this is a JFK flight. It's a 6 p.m. flight. You have a 1:35 a.m. flight. That's but that's gonna get you already overnight. That's already gonna get you till 5:40 p.m. 2:15 p.m. arrives 6:35 a.m. That's from Newark. That's a Newark flight. I'm not seeing a Boston flight, so I don't know that that's available. This is why I always like to go to Google just to see what's available before anything else. Again, I'm not seeing that Boston flight. They have between JFK and Newark, they have about 5 flights a day. And I guess they have one Miami. I think they used to have more, but I guess they have less now. A lot changed since the war, so things that you may have done in the past is not necessarily the case. A lot of airlines cut out services. So yeah. No, from Orlando for sure not. No, even Miami, you only have one direct flight. Delta used to have one from Atlanta. They cut out that flight. So you need to stop. So once you're stopping, you have to decide, would you rather fly straight to Europe and do the longer leg net first and then do the shorter leg, or do you want to first do a shorter leg and then do the longer leg? That's basically your options. Right? Do you follow what I said?
Yeah, we went to.
Right. Right. So you have that option of start off the longer leg, get to somewhere in Europe. They have to France, they have to London, they have to Frankfurt. These are, different places that you could get to. You're getting 7, 8 hours of your trip in already, and then you're gonna have probably 4 or 5 hours to Israel from there. The other option is you're flying 3 hours to New York or Newark, and then you're gonna fly 10 to 12 hours from there. Yes, but from what I'm seeing, there's no return flight to Miami. So there is a flight out of Miami. So maybe if you could, find a way to get a ride there, that's definitely something to look into.
There should be a return flights to Atlanta. Sure. That's what we, there is in Boston, you went to Boston and against Atlanta, but they might have from New York to.
Since the war, they cut out a lot of flights, and this is why it's really important to book flights as soon as you can, because they really book out quickly.
Nothing goes to Israel closer than Miami. Right.
Correct. Miami's the closest place for a direct flight.
Yeah, so
You could take a plane, you could take a train. You could take a train from Orlando to Miami. They have a train there. That's another option. And yeah, so that's definitely. But again, what I'm not seeing is a direct flight returning. I don't know why. It's weird. I don't know why.
We didn't have the last time either, reading said. Went through, was it Rachel? What was the name of the lady that?
I'll
Muskie.
post her info on screen.
Leaving the day before, I'm leaving March the 8th into there.
Right, I think exactly. So the trip starts and then
Rabbi,
yeah.
is there the one young lady with JLI? She used to help me out a lot when I set up my trips.
Yeah, so I'll send you her info.
Okay,
Okay.
Rabbi, thank
There's also an option of going with points if anybody has credit card points or something like that. Miles, the travel agent, I don't think will help you with that, but I could give you some advice.
How
That's
many
how
people?
that's how I book my flights with points, and I use I have Chase points, and it's relatively easy to do as well. Okay,
Rabbi,
I'm
how
just
many
gonna.
people you have there that are interested in going? Could you tell me that?
We have here 6 people that are here, 7, 8, I think at least 8 that are Wendy, right? And there are a few others.
So some of it similar to what we did before.
Yeah, we and some others that have messaged as well. Yeah, you're talking about yeah, probably about at least 10 that are interested. Okay, I don't have a lot of time. I gotta take my kids to the airport, actually.
Well, I
Going
gotta
back
go to
to
a
Sheila.
soccer game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
So
here now. I'll see ya.
Oh, you're at the game, Laura?
Yep, I was in a car. I apologize, everybody, if it was noisy. I'm so sorry.
Nobody heard
no,
anything.
that's fine.
Thank you for
Let
your
me just
time. I'll talk to you later.
All right,
okay,
hon.
bye, Laura. Um,
Bye.
All right.
okay, let me just go through this quickly. So that you have Monday, you go to you're provided from Jerusalem. Um, exact times. Okay, arrive at Ben Gurion Airport. Right. Okay. Then you're going to go to Shar Hagai, the siege of Jerusalem, 1948. The bravery of men and women who tried to break through and open the lifeline to the city. 1 second. Let me go to here for a second. This is Chavaro Kala 26. That's the code. And just the right now, the only option is the David Citadel Hotel, from what I understand. We're not doing the 2 hotel thing. Okay. The David Citadel Hotel, I personally love the hotel. I stayed there last time. I know that you guys stayed in the Waldorf Astoria. The Waldorf is it's a newer hotel. Maybe in some aspects a little nicer, just because it's a little newer. But a few things that I really like about David Citadel. Number one, you have a gorgeous view of the old city. Number two, the food there, in my opinion, is much better. And I ate it both. Don't worry. I go for breakfast there, then I go for breakfast by you guys, and I had both breakfasts. Um, and the David Citadel is a much bigger hotel. I personally love the David Citadel, so I just wanted to go through that. Obviously, if you have any questions on specifics, Sedone,
Sadat.
What's Sadat? One second.
Itinerary, this position, and Hebron, both.
Like Sodom and Gomorrah?
But
Sidon. Oh, yeah, okay.
she must have, the Dead Sea. Oh, that's.
The Dead Sea. Oh, Masada. You're talking about Masada. The Dead Sea, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an option. Okay, Ben Givorin. It's a clash between the Jews and I'm not going to go through everything. Basically, welcome to Jerusalem, and then according to this one, according to the itinerary, you're going to be able to go to the Western Wall on the first day. Then check in and enjoy a special dinner at the David Citadel. Day two, and yeah, this is all available online. I'm just going to go through a few things. Yeah, but no, because I just want to go through a few things that are different options. So if you want to visit Rachel's tomb, it's going to be a 6:30 a.m. option. So it's a pre-option.
Yeah.
I highly suggest it if you're able. Chances are you'll anyway be jet lagged, and you'll anyway be up early that day. But I highly suggest it. Then you go to Tzfat. Tzfat is fantastic. Remember the Kabbalah studio, mystical city of Tzfat is just absolutely fantastic. But there is also a track too. Okay, and that is to go to Caesarea, Port of Jaffa, Carmel Market. That's more going to the Jaffa port and things like that. And then there's track 3, our land. This is going to the Gaza border, Sderot. Is that what you're referring to, Sderot?
Surely every day there's different choices of what you want to do.
Yeah.
The pick what you, there's 4 hour choices.
Are you picking what you want to do at this moment that you're signing up?
No, but at some point you will need to pick.
Then you.
Rabbi, I have to get going, so I'm gonna leave.
All
the
right.
meeting. All right.
Okay,
Thank you,
Alvin, we'll be in
everybody.
touch.
Looking forward to seeing everybody around Hanukkah.
Thank you. Thank
All
you.
right.
We'll see you, Alvin.
Right, bye.
Get in touch with Mary. Mary.
I'll what, the travel agent?
No. Mary.
Oh, she's in Tzfat. I think I could get her number. So just so you understand, those who are here for the first time, there's different tracks each day, okay? And this gives an opportunity if somebody says, I've already been to Tzfat, I'm not that interested. So then you have another thing. If someone says, I really want to go visit the Gaza border. So in day 2, Tuesday, you have five tracks.
You can switch tracks. If you pick one day, you don't have to.
Sorry, you have six tracks. Okay. And you'll have to read through this. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer. But you go through the itinerary. This itinerary day 3. Each one there's different tracks. If you want, I'm happy to go wherever the main group is going. I would go along with you. I obviously have my personal. This is Masada. This is visiting IDF Wounded Heroes. Some people did this last year, so the Muslim quarter. This was I just want to say, Rita, you remember doing the Muslim quarter? Teret Kohanim. That was one of the highlights of our trip.
Yes, I don't know that I ever go.
Right. Well,
Like, you
no, so you have these options every day. If it's complicating, I could go through with you individually. If you guys want to get together and decide between yourselves what you want to do.
Yeah, until first step.
But on day 4, Chevron is the only option. So everyone goes to Chevron. Day 5 is already Erev Shabbos. Walk the Jerusalem's old city. That's why most of these things have to do with Jerusalem, because it's before Shabbos. So that's why you're gonna have and like over here, the Machne Yehuda, I think that was something that you missed last time, going to the market, Erev Shabbos, right? That's all day 5. That's Erev Shabbos. So you don't have a full day. Friday night is the option to walk to the wall. For those who want to walk to the wall for Friday night services. I know not everyone was able to do it last time, but obviously it's very, very moving, very important, very meaningful. Then Shabbat at Jerusalem. And then day 7, there's a number of options here. You have the heroism option. We only have that's, and then you have Yad Vashem. You have leisure in Jerusalem, Yad Vashem. For Israel's rich heritage and new national library, the Israel Museum, Israeli startups, for the Knesset. So you have a lot of options for day 6. Excuse me, and then you have the banquet, and then from there you go to the airport for those who want to move to the banquet. I did. No, it's, you know what? It is, but it's not emotionally draining the way I thought it would be.
I just thought it would be very gruesome,
It's not gruesome, no. It's
the emotion.
listen, in a certain way, it's you know what it is? It's they tell a story of each person, right? So they're not focusing on the tragedy, they're focusing on the stories. And that's, I think, what sort of how they turn, how they change that it's not about the tragedy. It's about trying to live the lives of each individual. And that's what you do as you're walking through. You're seeing a picture of a person and a story behind them and the life that they lived. And
Virginia, and I go back to Manassas battle site. I didn't know that I was there. I didn't know that many people had died. And you could actually